Welcome to the Diversity Scholarships Foundation's Profiles in the Law. I'm your host, Jesse Reyes, current president of the Diversity Scholarship Foundation and a justice on the Illinois Appellate Court First District. As we've mentioned in the past, it is always our effort to try to bring you some very prominent members of the legal profession, and today is no exception. In fact, we have someone who's dedicated her entire life not only to the legal profession, but to public service as well. And our guest today is Mariyana Spyropoulos, who is the current clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on the show, Jesse. Appreciate it.
Our pleasure. So our audience can know a little bit about you. Can you talk a little bit about yourself in terms of, how you grew up and,
Yep. So I'm a daughter of the South Side. I grew up in the Beverly neighborhood, and a great place to grow up. Lots of great memories growing up there. My parents are immigrants, and like a lot of other immigrants who came over for opportunity, my father started a small business and worked very hard, sacrificing a lot to provide for his family. It's always amazing to me going from a family that comes over with not much and not knowing the language to being able to be a public servant in the next generation. So I am very grateful to my parents for everything they provided, I try to give back as much as possible.
That's great. So were you actually born here?
No, I was born overseas. My parents came over when I was a year old, so I'm a naturalized citizen. But like I said, it's a very common story for a lot of immigrants. I like to think that people don't leave their native country in order not to succeed.
Right.
They're leaving for that opportunity, and especially to provide for their kids. So my parents stressed education. Really wanted me to go to law school, so couldn't say no, and I've never regretted that decision. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be an attorney.
And the legal profession and the community at large has benefited much from you being a lawyer.
Thank you.
So you were first generation.
Yep.
Could you share any circumstances or experiences that you had with regards to being first generation going to law school?
Well, besides going to law school, I just think a lot of children of immigrants experience the language barrier and oftentimes act as translators, which is an interesting dynamic because you have your parents who are the providers, and you go to them to guide you through life, and here they are. The dynamic is a little bit switched in that they rely on you to help them with the language component. So that was always an interesting thing, and a lot of my friends did not have to experience that. So you feel like you're in a very I don't want to say disadvantaged, but like in a unique scenario that not everybody experiences. So maybe it brings families tighter together in that there is that codependency. Obviously, as a kid, I'm depending on my parents, but in another way, they're asking for my help as well. And in terms of going to law school, you're widening your community and your friendships, and you're meeting other people, and then you meet other people who are in similar circumstances. So. I was fortunate to go to John Marshall Law School, which I think you know a little bit about.
Yes.
And it was a great place to go to law school, a very local school in that I think a lot of judges, a lot of prosecutors, defense attorneys graduated from John Marshall. It's really much of a practitioner's school. Because it has had a great relationship with the community, but also a lot of people graduated and then went on to either become judges or open their own practice. So I was interning as a prosecutor with the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. While I was in law school, I worked in night narcotics when there used to be that division. Then I worked in criminal appeals. I then went on to child support and then in juvenile. I then left the office and I was a hearing officer for the state of Illinois for a few years. And then I opened my own practice, and that allowed me to do a variety of work, but a lot more transactional. I would do a little bit of in court, but I did work on a lot of contract work, transactional type of and real estate as well.
Yeah.
So I've seen sort of a broad spectrum of the legal, experience, and I think it's sort of given me a better perspective on a lot of things, and has brought me to where I'm the clerk of the circuit court now.
Yeah.
So I understand, what's going on, having used the clerk's office myself as a practitioner, and I thought it was important that in this role I keep a connection with the community. So I've created an attorney advisory group, and the reason for that is for the community to hear what we're doing, but also to get that feedback.
Sure.
I think it's important that we hear from them how we can improve the office.
Yeah. Well, I want to commend you because, as you mentioned, you were here, your first generation, but I know that's something that's very common among the children of immigrants is that they become the interpreters.
Right.
And I think it kind of forces the young people to grow up faster because they have to now understand and communicate adult situations, adult problems, and circumstances. So I think it's another form of education that a lot of people that are born here don't have the opportunity to be available to them. And then also in terms of being first generation, I think it's always important to remember where you came from.
Yep.
And particularly, as you're going through law school, you don't know a lot about what's going on in some of the programs and things of that nature. And so you're kind of like in a dark room trying to feel your way through. I think it's important that not only did you not forget to give back, but that you continually have done that throughout your career, serving on the Water Reclamation District as well. You were always very active. I always saw you very actively out in the community, talking to people, trying to get them to understand what the Water Rec does, which is something that a lot of people sometimes don't know. What is the Water Rec? Right. And so you were always a strong advocate in that area in terms of trying to get people to understand the services the Water Reclamation District provided.
I think that's an important part of public service. It's not just doing the work, but it's also informing people we're here and this is what we do, because like you said, there's a lot of people who are not aware of what different government agencies do, including the clerk's office. So it's part of my job to get out to the community to share our resources. Yeah,
and we should also point out to our viewers that you've only really been on the job about 10 months. And in that 10 months, you've already, that I'm aware of, have done a lot of things to try to, open up the doors for the clerk's office and to provide services and to try to improve the clerk's office, which is, and as many people might not be aware, is a very essential and important aspect of our judicial system because they maintain the records, they provide all the information that the appellate court needs with regards to records that took place in the trial or arbitrations or whatever it is. And in many cases, those records have to be provided on a very timely basis, particularly in the area of juvenile law. Those cases have to move along because we're dealing with situations with young people. Should they stay with the foster parents? Should they be with the blood relatives and so on and so forth? So I want to commend you for everything that you're doing. And so I know you want to talk a little bit about some of the other programs.
Yes.
Right. Please.
Oh, okay. So, in our efforts to be out in the community, we've been working really hard to set up a Second Chance Summit, also known as an Expungement Summit. And these type of events occurred in the past. This office did hold them. In the last few years, the office did not host these events, but we're bringing it back. People have asked for it. And it's an opportunity to match individuals who may have a criminal record or arrests on their record and match them with free legal advice. So we have over 100 attorneys who are volunteering their time. We're going to match them with people who have registered for the event. Go to our website, cookcountyclerkofcourt.org. Register for our website. We encourage that. We encourage you to have your rap sheet in advance. Either go to the arresting agency, CPD, or Illinois State Police, get the rap sheet, download it with your registration. It'll be faster. It'll be helpful for us to facilitate that. And our attorneys will prepare the case, and then we'll get you a court date. So there's a lot of organizations who are helping in this space. They're helping with getting information out about expungements, which is great. The one thing that we do is we get you a court date. So that's a little bit further. In addition, we'll have job providers who are looking for second chance individuals to provide employment. And we're going to have a resource fair. So we'll have a lot of opportunities for people to find useful information. So you're welcome to attend our event. It's October 11th at Proviso Math and Science Academy from 8:30 to 4. And go to our website again, cookcountyclerkofcourt.org, and you can get more information on that.
And for our viewers, can you explain, for those who may not be familiar with what an expungement is, can you explain what an expungement is?
So yeah, briefly, an expungement would be, and not all crimes are eligible for these types of next steps, but an expungement would be to clear someone's record. So let's say, for example, you were a teenager and there was a retail theft, and the arrest is still on your record. You can go for an expungement, have that wiped from your record. There's also something called sealing, which is available. That is a little bit, it doesn't clear your record, but it does prevent it from being available for public view unless someone gets a court order, and then police agencies can still have access to that, but it does prevent it from being seen by employers. So again, not all crimes are eligible for this. And we, at the clerk's office, don't decide these cases. All we're doing is matching you with attorneys, and we'll get you a court date if you're eligible for that. So a few other, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. The only thing I was going to ask is, so these are individuals that whatever the court order was, they've complied with the court order, they've paid their debt to society,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
And then now they're trying to become a productive member of society.
Yep, and that's why we're calling the second chance. We're trying to give people a second chance, but again, these cases must go before a judge, and a prosecutor will have an opportunity to object if it's something that they want to, but the judge will decide the actual expungement. So we've also been doing women's empowerment events, and that is providing information on domestic violence, orders of protection, as well as teaching. Well, we have members of Chicago Police Department coming and teaching self-defense class, sort of a demonstration. These are really well attended as well, and we have resource fairs. We just held one at Olive Harvey College on September 18th, and then we just held a mental health summit. We partnered with Judge Fairman, and we had our first one at the Markham Courthouse. And what we do is we'll have members of the National Association of Mental Health Providers will be there, state's attorneys, judges, someone from the sheriff's office, someone from Cook County Health, and they'll answer questions talking about guardianship. How do you protect your family from an individual who may have a firearm and may be in a position where maybe they shouldn't have that firearm? What can you do as a member of the family? What can you do as a family friend, et cetera? Guardianship, power of attorney, and those kind of resources.
And you're planning on having these throughout the county?
So we had one in May in Markham. 500 people attended. So there's a real need for this. We just had one at Bridgeview Courthouse. We had about 300 people register for that. We're going to go to Maywood probably next year. And so there is a real desire to learn about what are the tools available for people to utilize to protect their family.
Yeah, no, that's important information.
Yeah.
And particularly in that area in terms of domestic violence.
So my team also goes out. A lot of communities are having resource fairs, health fairs, career fairs. We're happy to attend. Just go to our website, let us know you're having an event. We have staff who will table an event. They'll bring all kinds of resources so people can learn more about what we do.
Right. And I know that you have reached out to the appellate court, which is, a part of the judicial system that relies on, the materials and the information that you have, because that's what we look at when we're reviewing a case to determine whether or not we're going to affirm or reverse the
We're doing a good job, right?
Yeah, you're doing
Okay,
a good job.
good.
Yeah, very good job. As far as, I know you're doing a good job. Yes.
Good.
The other thing I was going to ask you is also with regards to ethics. I know you've pushed a lot of ethics reforms in your office. Can you talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, when I ran for this office, one of the things that I thought was important is that we have an ethics officer, that we develop an ethics code so the staff understand what's expected of them. It helps to have some guidance and parameters on how you're operating. We work closely with Cook County, the Cook County Board. So we've adopted some of their ethics, components, and we have an inspector general. So we just want to make sure that everything we're doing runs through the pillars of accountability, transparency, and accessibility. It's important that we have language access, that our website is translated in multiple languages, that when people come to our counters, that our staff have some capability of communicating with individuals in different languages, as well as our call center. So those are the three sort of touch points of our office. We've also developed a mobile app, so if individuals want to see what we're doing and how to track a case in our office, they can download our website as well. We developed a data dashboard, and this is the first time this has been done by this office. So as you can imagine, we're the record keeper of the court system. We know how many cases are coming through, which division, what year, what month, what location, and you can find all of that data, at least for the last 5 years, on our website. And we're going to expand that out for other data points, because people want to know, for example, how many expungements have we been processing? How many orders of protection are there? So we're looking at all of these, seeing how we can add those as a data point. And if anybody from the public says, it would be really useful to have this, we'll definitely look at it, take it under consideration, and see how we can develop that.
Sure. And you've also, my understanding is, made the office more language accessible.
Yep. So as I mentioned, we want our website to be translated to multiple languages. We want our call center to be, if someone calls and they need assistance in a different language other than English, we want to make that accessible as well. And our frontline workers, if you come in and you have, English is not your first language, you need assistance, we want to make sure. And we've been working with county on that as well.
Wow.
Yep.
It's a lot in just 10 months.
Yep.
That's great. And again, if anybody wanted to contact the office, could you provide that information?
Yes, our website is cookcountyclerkofcourt.org. Please check out our website. It's got a wealth of information, forms, resources, links, and please let us know how we can assist you.
And what does the future hold in terms of your office? I don't want to have you reveal anything you don't want to reveal, but what are some of the future programs and plans you have?
Well, we are looking at a few things, but something specifically would be a will depository. So we know a lot of people will write out how they want their estate to be distributed after they pass, and sometimes they'll write it on a piece of paper, they'll hide it somewhere in the house, and when they pass, nobody can find this piece of paper. So an option, obviously, is getting an attorney, but another option would be a will depository, and that would be in the clerk's office, where you could file your will, you could designate who your who would be the trustee of that will, and you can, we would hold that in a safe place, and make sure that it's something that your beneficiaries and your trustees know exists, so that there's not, hopefully it reduces the fighting that takes place sometimes in these kind of situations.
Sure, and if in the event that they want to amend it, they know where it's at, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're not there yet. We have to do some preliminary groundwork with legislation and making sure, we have the dedicated staff But it's something that people seem to be very interested in, so we want to be responsive to that.
Right. And you're right. I mean, sometimes, people do develop wills and then they put them in a bookcase or a closet or something.
Right.
And then,
Under the mattress.
Under the mattress, right. Yeah. Anything else that we could look forward to?
Well, something that people don't know, we process passports at the clerk's office. So if you go to the 12th floor probate division Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4, you do not need an appointment. Stop by. There is a fee to process that, but we do process passports on the 12th floor at the Daily Center. And we're looking to develop a mobile unit providing resources to communities.
All right.
So something to look forward to in the future.
No, definitely. I mean, I think that would be very useful for people that, because how long would it take to do that in terms of the passport?
Well, the passport will take a few weeks.
Well,
it takes like 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay, all right. And I know you're very involved in various activities, and one of them happens to be the Hellenic Bar Association.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They just they're going to have their big event, and try to be supportive. Obviously, my last name is a Greek name, but I try to be supportive of a lot of the bar associations because we work with many of the attorneys. But I have been involved with the Hellenic Bar for many years. I was the president of the Bar Association at John Marshall, so I feel like want to work with the community.
Sure. And you mentioned in the summit that the bar associations are involved as well.
Yeah, our Second Chance Summit.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, we've recruited from a lot of the bar associations to have volunteer attorneys.
Yeah, and that's good because again, not only are you your office is helping out, but you're getting the legal community to help out.
Yes,
which is very
and they get
commendable.
1 credit for CLE.
Oh, nice. Well, for those of you who are even if you're not actively involved in the bar association, but they want to help, they could.
Well, if you're an attorney and you're looking for CLE credit, you can get 1 if you volunteer for our Second Chance Summit.
Yeah. There you go. Any words of advice for our younger viewers in terms of aspiring to go on to higher education and
whether they should go to law school? I think it's a good idea. Yeah. A lot of people think, well, I don't know if I necessarily want to be an attorney, but I think that the training is really useful. Having the degree is something that is very widely applicable to a lot of different industries. You don't need to practice in the courtroom if you don't want, but I think it's worth your while, it's worth your time, it's worth the effort to get the law degree.
Right, and it doesn't matter if, like you said, if you want to be a litigator or not. The training and the education you receive is, I think, very valuable and useful in any pursuit that you have.
Right.
And I think people look at people in the media. Many of them are lawyers. People that are in business. Many of them are lawyers, owners of facilities and sports teams and things of that nature.
Right.
I think it makes it a lot easier to be able to at least read contracts and understand the legalese in the contract.
And as AI is entering a lot of the different industries, I think it's better to have the degree as something that you can always open your own law practice, something like that. So
yeah, I know it's a tool, and it's in some areas it's a useful tool, but I think our viewers should be aware of that it's still a tool that's in process. We don't know exactly how to maybe use it effectively and how not to. So I think to learn more about AI, the better, because I think again, we've heard of horror stories where it's been utilized and the individual's been provided misinformation.
Right.
Yeah. Do you have any training like that in your office?
We're looking at AI. I think everyone, you have to, especially if you're doing processes and looking at a lot of data patterns, et cetera. It could be very helpful. Yeah. So we're definitely looking at that. Another thing that I wanted to mention to you that we are working on is e-citations, which means electronic ticketing.
Oh, okay.
City of Chicago does not do electronic ticketing. A lot of the suburbs do, but our goal is to have all of Cook County, which would be City of Chicago, as well as all the suburbs, to be electronic ticketing. And part of the reason is that it's more efficient, you're getting more accurate data. But like, let's say you get a ticket from City of Chicago and you come the next day and you want to pay it. We haven't gotten the paper ticket from them yet, so you can't pay it yet.
Oh, I see what you're
So there's a delay in
Right.
that process. So if we can get it electronic, it'll be more efficient.
Sure.
It'll probably be easier for everybody involved. But it'll take a little bit of time because there are processes involved, and there'll be training involved as well. But we're going to be, we're looking into that from our end, making sure that the software is something that can incorporate the data, and then we're talking to our various partners. So CPD will be one of them.
Oh, great. Well, it has indeed been a pleasure to have the clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County, Mariyana Spyropoulos, here as our guest today. Thank you again for being here. And as I mentioned in past shows, our whole purpose is to try to bring you some prominent members in the legal profession, and today was no exception. And thank you for watching the Diversity Scholarship Foundation's Profiles in the Law. And I've been your host, Jesse Reyes, president of the Diversity Scholarship Foundation and current justice on the Illinois Appellate Court. And thank you for watching.
Thank you.